I took a look around and I saw the circle of people. They were all expressing, they haven't been seen. They wanted to be seen. They were going through depression. Everything changed for them this weekend. But I had a moment. I looked around and I was like, I checked all of these people into Tranquility. And now I was able to take a step back and look at the outcome and the results of it. So I saw too many tears yesterday of people just in happiness.
Beautiful.
Of what just went on. And again, there's so many facets to Tranquility. It's to truly find yourself and or elevate yourself. Not just if you're found, fantastic. Surround yourself with other higher frequency or give energy to people that aren't found.
Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Liftoff Experience.
Thank you for having me.
All the way from Florida. If y'all have already seen the other episode we were just talking about, so you got to check out John's episode. It was awesome. And first time doing a pop-up, and I was thinking too how cool it would be to potentially do something like this show at your events, just from the perspective of getting more intimate with the individuals, facilitators, vendors of the show or of your event. And so it's awesome that you had some time, you carved some time out for us to get onto the show. And when do you head back to Florida?
So first off, I appreciate that.
Of course.
What you just said.
Of course.
About bringing the podcast out to Tranquility.
Yeah.
Because when we curated Tranquility, it really is a platform for everybody to kind of either give energy or receive it.
Yeah. Amen.
And I think that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge for us. So anyone that wants to partake to give or receive, that's what Tranquility was built for.
Let's go. Let's go. And we're going to get into Tranquility and what that is, an event we just got back from. We'll love to get into your story and how you evolved into that. For y'all out there, I just started a book and it's going to be spirit hacking. So definitely check this book out. I'm at the beginning stages and we connected really quick. It was like, I saw you at the front desk. There's three partners. Like I said, John was already on, and then we just started going back and forth. I saw the watch. I got to respect a man with a good watch, so he has the AP going there. And I'm just appreciative to be able to go deeper with you more intimately, because I know that there's, from travel to business to family to your event. I mean, a lot going on. A lot going on. So when do you go travel back home?
Thursday. So divine timing. So we curated this event. We had it planned out with the hotel to come out here for, this past weekend.
Yeah.
So I approached, I'm telling you, the universe just makes no mistakes.
Amen.
My wife comes to me and she says, well, I won an award.
Really?
I won an award with her company.
Okay.
And it's in Phoenix, Arizona. So I said, oh, that's so interesting. We're doing an event in Phoenix, Arizona. I said, oh, I guess we're going twice. So I said, okay, what date? And she says, oh, May 20th, 21st.
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Our event is the 17th and 18th.
Oh my God.
I was like, out of all the places in the world, Phoenix, Arizona, that's where we're going to be.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, we're on the right path here. Right? Because that is how I kind of decipher if we're doing the right thing here, if we're on the right path. The synchronicities.
Yeah, most definitely.
And so we just planned it.
Wow.
Lucky for my mother-in-law, she was able to come down from Pennsylvania. She was able to stay with the kids. We have two kids.
Wow.
Unfortunately, I wanted them to come and to experience this as well, but kids have responsibilities like school.
Yeah. We talked about that before we got in the air.
Yeah. And we were able to make it happen. We're out here for a week, so we go back on Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, what are the odds?
Wild.
I love that. And it happens with my wife all the time as well. And I don't know about you viewing and listening out there if it happens to you. It's my wife likes to use the word serendipitous. And so it's like, what? And it's like, and congratulations to your wife. And what was she winning the reward for?
It was the highest prestige award for Bank of America.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Okay,
So it's
okay.
it's one of one.
Shout out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Let's go. Let's
yeah,
go. Dude, that's awesome. Good
yeah.
for her. And so Tranquility, I want to get it into later on in the episode. And I'm curious, like, starting from the beginning, you come from a line of entrepreneurs, or what gave you the bug to get into, like, you're doing the events, watches? I mean, I can only imagine what else you've also done as well. And I really want to inspire our viewers and listeners today to then think about, like, whether it's evolving spiritually, evolving as a and maybe a dad, also as an entrepreneur. So let's go back to the beginning. I'm
Let's do
curious
it.
about your story, man.
Let's do it. A great story is we always have to go back to our roots.
Mm,
And I started so all right, let's do this. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of my career.
wow. Let's go. Let's do it.
I'm not gonna stay there too long,
Okay.
but
Okay.
it's important because I think a lot of our listeners are going to resonate a lot with this and how someone could get from point A to point T.
Okay. Okay.
Not necessarily Z,
I
maybe
like that.
point A to point B,
Yeah.
point A to point D. Um, so I started off in hotels at
Oh.
16 years old.
Okay.
Okay. I've been in hotels for a very, very long time. Been in hotels for, I want to say 18, 19 years.
Okay.
Started off at the front desk, ended up going into finance.
Mm.
So went into New York City, worked at the Hilton New York, 1,800 room hotel, got all my
Mm.
exposure, my experience of finance and accounting over there. And then I ended up going into Wyndham Corporate, which was
Mm.
I call it the Disney World
Yeah.
of hospitality because that employer was one of a kind. They were phenomenal,
Wow.
and if it wasn't that I needed more, I would probably still be there.
Wow, really?
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to Wyndham. And actually, my wife, she has a timeshare, and it was Club, what was it? Shell Vacation Club. There it is. And then they got bought out by Wyndham.
Okay.
So we were just in Hawaii back in January, and so we went through the seminar and what have you, and that's awesome. Good
Yeah,
for you.
yeah. So ended up overseeing hotels, domestic and international. Had exposure to the CEO, CFO of a
Mm,
company. So believe it or not, a lot of people go to college, but the best experience in the world is working. I
amen.
say, like, listen, you're getting an education, they're paying you for it. It's the hack of life,
So
right?
true.
People are like, oh, I don't want anyone telling me what to do. Well, you just went to school, pretty much, to do this,
Yeah.
So I took it from that perspective of I'm going to learn from the elite people in this
Mm,
company. It's a Fortune 500 company
yeah.
with, some of these people had 30, 40 years of experience.
Mm,
I want to learn from this.
yeah.
I need to grab from this because I'm going to take it and I'm
Mm,
going to run with it.
I love that.
You know,
Yeah.
Everyone has this weird relationship with work. It's a very and this is why this is important. That's why this conversation is important because everyone has a
100%.
weird a weird relationship with work.
Mm,
And everyone's like, "Oh, I don't like it. Oh, this and that, blah blah blah." It's like there's a reason why you're there.
yeah.
How about you take a step back and you start looking at your mentors and you start looking at the leaders around you and the bosses
Mm,
and you start saying, "Okay, who do I resonate with the most?
mm,
Who can I connect with the most? Who do I want to be my mentor, my role model?" It's huge. A lot of people running. I see adults running around this world with no role models when they were kids,
hmm.
and it shows. It shows.
Amen.
So you take the time to work on your craft
Mm,
while you're working.
yeah.
Okay,
Mm,
because if you go into entrepreneurship, then you have to depend on other people to do this stuff that you have no idea what you're doing.
bingo.
Okay, so my whole thing was I'm going to learn from all the top executives.
Hmm.
I'm going to take all those qualities and I'm going to go start doing my own thing.
Ooh.
So while I was working, I started a cryotherapy wellness center with my best friend Jeff,
Mm,
and so we got right into wellness. We got into cryotherapy. We got into wellness. We did the whole thing, the whole shebang.
okay.
And that's why you had Michael Revelio here
Yeah.
from Optimize.
Yeah.
And I just met Michael,
He's amazing.
and I feel like I've known him my whole life.
He's just such a chill, relaxed, amazing, and he's so he just takes you in.
He does. He does. And there was so much there with me and him.
Hmm.
There's so much there. I was literally, he was actually just text me before,
He told me.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
told me that you guys really connected
Yeah.
because I helped him pick up his ice buckets for the cold plunge and what have you. And we are just kind of talking how who's who, how do you know who, whatever. And he said, yeah, I really just connected
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Danny.
he was that guy. So he's doing something very similar what I've done in with Cryo Central, which is the company that I
Mm,
had out in New Jersey. Unfortunately, I do not have that business anymore because I
okay.
had to shut it down because of COVID.
Mm,
COVID kind of like
yeah, yeah.
you know,
Unfortunately,
yeah, it took down a lot of things,
it did.
and that was one of them. But that was an opportunity for me to reinvent myself. But going back to the cryo, it's important that I talk about this because 1111 had a lot to do with cryo. I was
Mm,
helping a lot of people back then. And
hmm.
I was doing a hike with my wife earlier today, and I had this conversation with her. It popped up. I said to her, you know, what happened this weekend
Mm,
at Tranquility at Mountain Shadows, I haven't felt
mm.
since I was in my cryo days.
Wow.
And I've had multiple businesses all throughout.
Mm,
What happened at Tranquility this weekend, I don't even, I see the funny thing was I knew what was going to happen.
mm.
No one else knew.
Wow.
And I think we had that conversation a little bit,
Yeah.
and we'll get into it
Yeah. Definitely.
into the podcast. But when I was at Cryo Central, we had people that had chronic pain.
Mm,
We had people that wanted to get into surgeries.
mm.
They were miserable human beings, and when they stepped into a shop, my goal, my intention was for them to smile.
I
They
love that.
so how do I do that?
Yeah.
How I always think, how can I be of service to somebody? So I said to them, I always say, okay, well, what's going on? I always,
Mm.
me talking and selling is not it. I have to
Yeah.
listen. I have to
Yes.
listen. I have to see what the problem is. They call me the problem solver.
I love that. I love that.
It's funny. We everyone gets so caught up with titles: CEO, CFO, COO, president, all that stuff. I'm like,
Hmm.
no, I'm an architect. I'm a problem solver. Those are my two titles in any business: architect, problem solver.
I love
I
that.
like anybody that says CEO, CEO, keep it, keep it. I don't care.
That's for you.
Yes, that's for you. I'm the architect. I'm the problem solver. So that was the goal. The goal was to heal
Mm.
people.
Hmm. Hmm.
So when I had to shut that down, a piece of me went down with it,
I can imagine.
right? But it was an opportunity to reinvent ourselves. As soon as I closed down that chapter with my best friend as well,
Mm.
he went off and into real estate. I know you're doing a little real estate as well. He went
Yep.
off into real estate. I dabbled in real estate a little bit as well,
Yeah.
but it wasn't my calling.
Mm.
It was not my calling. It wasn't aligned with what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then we come to multiple businesses in between, and we could talk about it later on. But let's get to 1111.
Yeah.
1111 is a group of individuals with very intentional energy,
Mm.
with very different personalities and very different experiences
Mm.
coming together as one to curate events,
I love that.
right? And to transform people. Now, once we get to this tranquility, let's get to the tranquility model. Let's get
Hmm.
to what happened this weekend. And I also want your take on it from
Yeah.
from the weekend as well. Um, Tranquility. So many people have come up to me, and shout out to Mountain Shadows Resorts because they were absolutely amazing,
Dude,
amazing this
amazing.
weekend. They were absolutely amazing this weekend, and my team, Caitlin. You met Caitlin.
Yeah.
Caitlin, who's our director of Tranquility, she is amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. The connection. See, I'm coming from Miami. Our first our first event was in Scottsdale, Arizona.
That's crazy. I mean, I'm almost like curious as to like why? Why not Florida?
So we're doing Florida actually next month.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna be in Naples,
Wow.
Florida. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But so John, who you had the interview,
Hmm.
I haven't watched the video just yet, but I'm sure he mentioned that he had a little history with Scottsdale,
Yep.
and
Did.
Caitlin was here,
Hmm.
and we had an opportunity with the hotel group that we work with to
Mm.
kind of pilot this here at Mountain Shadows. So
Wow.
that's kind of how it all came together. And Caitlin was right in the middle of that.
Wow.
She was the center of that, and she had
Mm.
the pulse the whole time.
Yeah, she did.
She had the pulse. She knew we and her, me, her, John, Jimmy, our other partner Eric. We all chatted and we said, and Dominique as well. I can't
Hmm.
forget Dominique. Dominique is our marketing
Okay.
for 1111. She's absolutely stunning as well. We all talked and we said, okay, how are we? What is the vision for
Mm.
Tranquility? Is it wellness?
Mm-hmm.
Is it entertainment?
Mm.
Is it Pilates? You know, like
I mean,
what?
it's true though.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. So I had to take a step back
Okay.
because at first we said it was going to be wellness,
Okay.
but man, wellness is so much more than just the body.
Yeah, that's true.
It's body, mind, and soul.
Amen.
And the issue that we have in society today is that everyone is very one dimensional. They want to focus on just one thing, whether it's just body, whether it's just mind, or whether it's just soul. But what about the three?
Mm.
Now, when you start unlocking the three of them, people start transforming. They
Great.
start elevating their frequencies. They start going into the superhuman element. So my whole thing was I literally remember the day that I even said it in my head. I want people to transform into superhumans.
I like that. I love that.
That was Tranquility. That was the whole purpose for this. Now, if I put it out there,
Yeah.
will they come? And the messaging I thought was spot on because
Yeah.
what I wanted to do was bring all the fitness people in. I wanted to bring everybody that was focused on body and then put in the strategic partners so they could have a platform, then they can showcase their
Mm.
skill set so they could get a little bit of the mind and soul.
Yes.
I don't know if you realize what happened this weekend,
Mm.
but there was a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
that have come up to me in tears
Mm.
with traumas that have come up
Wow.
with depression and all just these different emotions. They didn't expect it, that this is what it was going to be. Now the
Yeah.
the cat is out of the bag, right? Like
Yeah.
it's out now. um
Yeah. Wow.
but I did that intentionally. I
Wow.
did it intentionally. We wanted people to come in and have an expectation of one thing
Mm.
and leave with another. And it was very transformative. I actually partaked in the cacao ceremony.
Oh, you did.
Yeah, towards the end, I was like, gotta partake in something.
Of course. Yeah.
Gotta partake in something. And so Madeline, who administered the cacao ceremony, and we had a Buddhist monk there as well, and
Yes.
he was phenomenal as
He
well.
was.
Yeah, they did just a phenomenal job, and I had a surreal moment while we were in that circle. I took a look around and I saw the
Mm.
circle of people that were there, and they were all expressing, they haven't been seen. They wanted to
Mm.
be seen. They were going through depression. Everything changed for them this weekend. But I
Wow.
had a moment. I looked around and I was like, I checked all of these people in to Tranquility.
Wow.
And now I was able to take a step back and look at the outcome and the result of it.
Wow.
I saw too many tears yesterday of people just in happiness
Beautiful.
of what just went on. And again,
Mm.
there's so many facets to Tranquility. It's not a sobbing. It's not
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
It's to truly find yourself and or elevate yourself. Not just,
Mm-hmm.
if you're found, fantastic. Surround yourself with other higher frequency or give energy to people that aren't found.
Amen. I love that, dude. Very well said. And yeah, that's what I did. I was just raising frequency, running around, connecting dots, doing everything I could just to enhance the experience. Hence why it was impromptu. We did this whole podcast, thing yesterday. And it turned out to be pretty dang good with all things in consideration. And congratulations to anyone who's watching who were in tears and went through that process because, that's one thing. I had Jen come and she doesn't quite understand, like, and she's not Navajo. She was on the show. Y'all can check out who she is. Jen is on World First or on Liftoff Experience, and and it comes from a spiritual background, but it's so this way and a box, and she wanted to cycle break and get out of the box, and then she sees me and I'm like, come to this event, come check it out, come do a couple things. And she didn't really dive in. I wish she would have, but for those that did dive in, that actually got that transformational opportunity, that's a blessing. And you're doing something amazing here, because a lot of people are either, oh, I just do the Pilates or the stretching or the physical, like, look at me work out, but I'm not in the other side. I'm not doing the meditation. I'm not doing the maybe the mindful tea practice like my wife did there, and exploring the other modalities which you then offer so people can be well rounded. So I got to say, hats off to you. Kudos for the way that you orchestrated it.
But thank you.
Yeah.
But it was my team.
Yeah.
It was a lot of my team. You know, yes, I had the vision. I saw this beforehand,
Mm,
but they crafted it together. They put it together, and I'm grateful for them. I'm
yeah.
thankful to them. You know, Caitlin, John, Jimmy, Eric, Dom, they literally went full force on Tranquility,
Let's go.
and
Appreciate you all.
yeah, I do, and they know that. They
Yeah.
know that, and yeah, our next one's in Naples next month, and that one's going to be wild. Just from the people that we placed in there,
Yeah.
there's going to be a very large high vibration there.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So when you think about Tranquility in the future, like what's your vision as a visionary for, the events and transformation for people? Like what would you like to see from this?
I would like to see us. John and I have spoken of this many times,
Yeah.
and we've John is a vision. He's a manifester, by the way.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic manifester. I am as well. We're both. I'm a direct manifester,
Okay.
and I believe he is too.
Okay.
So everything that we say just happens, man.
Done.
It just
I
happens.
love that.
Yeah. Hey, have you heard of not to go off course, but
You're
have you
good.
heard of human design blueprint?
Do I have it? I don't. I have it. I have it. I think it's in there. I have
Human
it.
design.
I have the book. Yeah.
Ah.
Michael told me because he saw the book and he analyzed me from Optimize. He's like, I think you're an opportunist hermit because I'm good about being around and I light up with other people. But then this is like my hermit here. This is like my little shell. I come in here and I get behind that desk and I.
That might be something different. That might be something different. Human design blueprint is actually how you manifest. Like
Ah,
understanding how you manifest. Yeah, yeah,
interesting.
yeah. Like
Hmm.
I have to be in the place
Okay.
in order for the energy to
Okay.
shift and it to work out. Or if
Mm.
I want something, I have to go and touch it.
Interesting.
Yeah. Some
Okay.
people do vision boards
Yeah.
and it works for them. Some people do vision boards and it doesn't work for them. That just
Mm.
means that they're not manifesting correctly.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's good. And I haven't got too deep in, squirrel. No, haven't got too deep in this segment because I do have the vision board, and then there's something like a mind movie you could do as well. And then I just got done reading "Become Your Future Self Now." Beautiful book. And my wife and I did the exercise where we wrote a letter from our future self 15 years in the future. And she got upset and teary eyed. I got upset and teary eyed. But I think I'm onto something because touching it, feeling it helps me tremendously.
And just do the test. It's very simple. Just do the test, and it's
Ah,
so accurate.
interesting.
It's so accurate,
Okay. Okay.
you know. But that's just a little tidbit for people if they're
Yeah.
on if they feel like, oh, why does okay? Let me backtrack because this is gonna resonate with a
Okay.
lot
Let's
of
go.
people. Why does that person always get what they want? Human design. Do it, and you'll
Love
start
that.
getting what you want.
Big time. That's huge. Hey, if you got a gold nugget, there's your gold nugget right
Yep.
there. Boom. Way
Yep.
more to come. So you sit there and sit tight and enjoy the show. But wow, I never thought about that. All right, human design. I have the book. I need to go deeper into the process. So I
I,
really appreciate your gifts.
I'm a student of knowledge.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be. I guess that's part of the mind, right? That's the mind part. I'm always going to be a student of the knowledge, and I
Yeah.
always just want to receive as much information as possible of what's out there and what's the truth.
Yeah.
That's all I want. I
Yeah.
just want what's the truth. A lot of people are still, working on faith.
Mm. Yes.
I'm not working on faith. I'm
Yes.
working on what I know.
Yes.
I'm working on what I know. And if faith is what you know, okay, great, fantastic. It works for you.
Yeah.
It works for you. As long as, hey, as long as you're okay, as long
Yeah.
as you're good, right? And you're in
Yeah.
that high frequency and you're a good person. But I don't work on faith. I work on what I know. And I've experienced a lot. I've seen a lot. Um, I, it's like, a lot of the times we start a lot of I think a lot of people don't realize that we've done this plenty of times in different lifetimes, so I've done this a lot of people have told me it's been confirmed to me plenty of times, so I'm more of an older soul.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I feel the same, and so I felt drawn to you, and feel like attracts like. And
Hmm.
so it's just like in going to your event and the teams, I just wanted to explore to see what this even meant, because I'm in a different world with real estate marketing, positioning, superstar Airbnb host, the fix and flip, right? And then my wife and I are exploring what is next for us as we co-create outside of just because we're very separate, we're very opposite. She's out there, she's doing her thing, I'm in here, I'm doing my thing. And so yeah, the weekend was amazing, and just connecting with individuals like I feel like family, like I've known them forever,
Yeah,
and I'm like just met them.
I've met people, yes, in the past 2 days that I'm like, wow, brothers and sisters for the rest of my life.
Amen.
Wild.
It's wild, dude.
Wild. And I think the name Tranquility, which I am not taking credit for, that was actually I don't recall if it was Jimmy or John that came up with it.
Okay.
So credit to both of them. That's fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's all good.
but the naming of Tranquility, I think a lot of people had the perception that it was very wellness like
Mm.
spa esque.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's not. It's inner peace.
Simple.
It's inner peace. It's inner child. It's finding that peace within you
I love that.
to be yourself. You know, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Start living your truth. Start living the truth.
I love that.
Yeah.
So many people just they don't even know what that even means. You know what I'm saying? And that's why this show's here. That's why you're here right now, listening or viewing, because I feel like more people are starting to wanting to understand what that means to them, and how do they get connected to their calling so they could have more energy from the perspective of being in your true knowing.
We get so caught up in society. We're chasing money. We're chasing bills. We're chasing
Mm,
responsibilities, and that leads us away from our inner child. I have this conversation over and over again with people, and I said,
mm,
when you were a kid, what did you want to do? I always ask the question,
mm,
what did you want to do? Like, what was the goal? What was the purpose?
mm.
What was it? The actual, like, for example, I wanted to be a baseball player.
Okay.
That didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
But what was I trying to get out of it?
Okay.
Was it money? Was it fame? Was it actually the sport,
Yeah.
or was it the role model aspect where I can make an
Mm.
impact in other people's lives? So
Ah,
when I was able to dissect into all that, I said,
yeah.
well, then baseball wasn't my outlet. My outlet could be anything. Just make an impact in people's lives, raise vibration in people,
Mm.
and you're going to be able to do that.
I love that. I love that. So I'm curious for this segment about raising vibration. So I was listening to 2x is better than 10x, same author as Become Your Future Self. And at the end of the book, he started talking about frequency and vibration. And depending on the level, and he said at the highest level, I think it was like 1,000%. I don't know the exact chart, and I'm sure you can explain more to this. He said that you can impact 70 million people just by being at the higher level of a vibration. So like what does vibrations mean for viewers, listeners out there? How do you start tapping in? I would love to give some enlightenment.
So it's so interesting. I, all right. I'm very different. I'm very different. I've had this conversation plenty of times with my wife,
Mm,
with my peers, with my partners,
mm,
with my family, with my friends. I always knew I was different.
mm,
Whether it was success, whether it was intuition, whether it was I'm protected.
mm,
I'm protected
mm.
by things that people can't explain, right?
Yeah.
Like just Even the Buddhist yesterday, he's like, I think you were a monk in the past life. I'm getting that
Ooh,
monk. I'm
wow.
getting that monk vibration from you, and understanding yourself is key here. But getting into your high vibration also means living your truth.
Okay.
And once you start doing the things that you're not supposed to be aligned with, that is where you're kind of like in your lowest frequency. If you notice, there's some people that, go to jobs and they're just miserable.
Yeah.
Why? Why? And then you feel like you're stuck. You're
Mm.
stuck. Why? Because of everything that I mentioned before, the
Mm-hmm.
money,
Mm-hmm.
the bills, the
Mm-hmm.
responsibilities, the the responsibility between, partners, husband, wife, whatever the case may be. It's very difficult to detach yourself from that. It's very difficult to detach yourself from the elements of being a human. That's what it comes down to. You kind of have to take a step back and say, okay, let's talk about what I want to do.
Mm.
And even if you work and you're spending all this time on your job, please, please work on something that enlightens you.
Mm.
Even if it starts off as a hobby,
Mm.
because once you're aligned, that actually helps with your work because now you're in a higher vibration. You're doing what you're called to do. So that helps out with work. When I was in
Mm.
cryo, and this is a great point. When I was in cryo, I was helping other people. That helped me with my corporate job.
Yeah.
That helped me tremendously because I was helping people. I felt fulfilled. So now I could give back to my work. I wasn't in a
Mm.
bad vibration. I wasn't in a low vibration. I was in a higher vibration because
Okay.
of what I was doing externally. And I think that is huge.
Mm.
Just that little thing
Mm.
of doing a little bit more.
I love that.
Just do a little bit more.
I love that. That's awesome. I think to break it down for our viewers and listeners, what comes up for me is that if you're doing something or you're at the job and you're feeling demoralized or you're feeling like you're just not getting seen or recognized and you just feel like you get off work and you're just ugh, like you need time off of time because you're just so drained, like time off of work and everything. And it's like that's low vibe. And I feel like those that come from work or come from whatever your calling is or whatever you do to pay the bills or whatever the case may be, and you still feel just like a kid in a candy store or like a kid on Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Like it was like almost like, for an example, I could not help myself at your event by not wanting to be of service, connect as many people as I possibly could, learn about everyone and everything, and help in any way I could. It was like an inner calling that I had. And I felt like a kid in a candy store. I had nothing to gain. I'm not in the space. Yeah, I have this podcast. It's organic. I'm in the real estate marketing space. It wasn't any real estate professional. Maybe there was real estate professional. I don't know. I didn't meet one. Oh, there you go. I'm here. I'm at your house right now. But that's organic, right? I didn't even, right? Like, honestly, we just met. I didn't even go on your Instagram. I didn't look you up. I know nothing. We're learning and unraveling and turning these pages like organically right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I hope that helps out there for y'all who are listening.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's what comes up for me. I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I felt like that with a lot of people yesterday too.
Really?
Yeah, I felt like that. Like a lot of people, like to your point of giving of service,
Yeah. Yeah.
giving energy.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to pour their energy into Tranquility, which
Yeah.
was the point. Now we're going to be going into different cities
Mm-hmm.
domestically.
Yeah.
This is the goal. The goal is to the Tranquility model is very community based.
Yeah.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go into areas and we're going to say, I want cream of the crop. I want the people and the cream of the crop. I'm not saying by brand. I'm talking about the highest vibration. I want the most organic, highest vibration of people in one place to give the energy back to the people that are in need of
I
it.
love that.
Okay. And so like for example, we were in Paradise Valley, Scottsdale,
Yeah.
Arizona. We took the cream of the crop. We
Yeah.
took the people with the highest vibration. We put them all together, and that outpour of love and energy literally went to the people that were in need of it.
dude.
And now we're gonna do it again and again and again and again. So you asked me the question of what is the model of tranquility, and the model is exactly that. We're going to be going into different cities, and we're going to be trying to make an impact, a large impact on how people view their lives in that moment. Because if they need to change something, we want them to start chapter one, turn the page right after tranquility.
Let's go, man. Let's go. And you're hearing it first on the Liftoff Experience. Have you been on a show yet? Have you been talking about this already and getting it out there, or are we on the first?
Ah, first,
Dude,
first,
let's
first, first,
go. Let's.
first.
I love. I'm a man of early adapters and innovators, right? And if you don't know, the chart is early adapters, innovators, mass market laggers, and I love to be the catalyst of something new and fresh. It lights me up and it makes me feel like I could help human consciousness in one way or another. Hence why we're going in this direction. Kind of like, hey, shout out Joe Rogan. A little bit of a different concept, but my vision for this is to be bigger than Joe Rogan. When I wrote the letter for my future self, it was the biggest, and we're starting off in saying it's a podcast, but I want it to be an experience. Like when Michael came on, he gave me the Wim Hof breathing instruction at the end, and I do Wim Hof breathing. I have a red light panel in there. I go to the gym, I cold plunge, whatever. And so he did that at the end because I want people to like embody the experience, and a lot of the individuals who were at Tranquility are going to also now be here. So we're gonna ask them how it was and what's going on, and tune in with them. So y'all gonna be ready for an experience, because for the next couple months we're gonna be going deep.
Awesome, awesome, and I love that because the world needs it.
Amen.
The world really really needs it right now.
It was getting heavy.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy. So when I told you I was different, I'm very. I don't receive energy.
Mm.
I don't. We went on a hike this morning. I was telling you, and we found this massive quartz. I picked it up. I think it was pink. I don't know. It looked pink. Pink quartz, right?
Yeah.
And I picked it up, and this is just how my life I was designed.
Yeah.
I don't. I just don't feel that energy from people. And it's a
Interesting.
gift. It's a gift. It's a superpower.
Yeah.
Because then I'm able to analyze them and then give them my energy. So it's almost
Mm.
like a one way
Yeah.
back to them. So I give them my energy so they could lift,
Interesting.
so they can lift.
Interesting.
We did that. We did that yesterday. For the 2 days, and just the interactions. I had so many people come up to me, just thanking me.
Wow.
Just absolutely, and it wasn't just a thank like, oh, thank you for for
Yeah.
having me.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. This was a thanking, like life saving thanks.
Wow.
And that means a lot to me because that was the whole purpose of this.
Dude, amen. I love that. It was interesting. One of the stories that came up from my wife, we're driving to the event yesterday morning, and she said, I had this moment. And she said, this lady came up to me and she lost her husband. And so she was been with her husband since like grade school, like middle school, all her life. And she was watching something on Instagram as far as how do you navigate the conversation if you lose someone. And so they're talking, conversing, and she asked her this question. She said, what do you miss about him the most? And she stopped. And she just all suddenly like lit up and was like, no one has ever asked me that ever. And I just miss the most when I just wake up, get the unconditional love. He gives me a kiss and smiles, and I just miss that so much about him. And then they conversed back and forth, and they hugged, and they had a moment, and it was like that the whole weekend. And it was just so amazing to hear that from my wife, and also she was in tears, and thank you so much. I know John her spoke for the opportunity for her to come in and be a part of Tranquility, for her to do her mindful matcha practice, and she was in tears at the end as well. And she's a very grateful person for that opportunity, because she is wishing to scale and grow her company, but organically. It's different than like a Tivana or like a Starbucks, right? Because it's a higher vibe, And so thank you for that. Thank you for the opportunity of giving my wife that. John, thank you, the team, everyone else as well.
Well, it's reciprocated too. I mean, it works both ways. I mean, where's our wives right now? They're in the kitchen, right?
Shout out, they are literally in the kitchen
and,
right now.
and dude, listen, like Like the universe makes no mistakes. How funny is it? My wife is obsessed with matcha.
Dude,
Obsessed,
so
right?
is mine.
Right, obsessed. And you asked me to come onto this podcast, and I think you asked me on Saturday, right? That's
Yeah.
when the first time that we
We
connected.
yeah.
So I said to her, Monday, because she was like, oh, I'm gonna get there tomorrow. Let's do this. I was like, okay, listen, I have a commitment. I have to do this podcast. So then when you met my wife and you're like, oh, they'll just link. I'm
Yeah.
like, wait a minute. My wife loves tea. She loves matcha. Like I think she just found another best friend,
I
is what
think
I
so.
think.
I think so
And I
too.
was, and I just said to my wife, I was like, but what were the coincidences? There is none.
There's none.
It's just connected.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just keep giving me signs that we're on the right path.
Amen to that, dude. Yeah, there's multiple different matchas, the teas, she's I'm sure your wife's in a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, she is.
So one thing I want to say, and that came to my attention, you said something about a story. And you said that you were at an event and there was a shaman working on someone and just caught eyes with you. And you're like, wait a minute, like that person's working, the shaman's working on that person, but is clearly just looking at me.
Hmm.
And so it comes up to you and tells you, what he tells you. We can go more into the story as well. But what comes up for me is when you said you do not feel energy, one thing that came up from that story specifically was the fact that he said, you don't need to be here. Like, but you chose to be here. And I feel the fact that you don't feel energies because you're not here to collect karma,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
One of the biggest,
I can feel that right now.
one of the biggest lessons that he had, not lessons, he had told me, he had said, you've learned all your lessons in past lives. You didn't have to be here. You chose to be here with your contract, your soul contract. You chose to be here.
Congratulations.
And he mentioned, he mentioned my beautiful wife. He mentioned my beautiful kids, my beautiful family, my mom and dad.
Wow.
And he said, you're not here for you. You're here for them.
Ooh.
And that took me aback. That was the first time someone said that to me. He goes, you're not here for yourself. You're here for them. He told me a lot of things that I've heard plenty of times and I'm well aware of. That was the first time that I heard that. And it was true. Because I'm very selfless when it comes to things like that. And everything I do, I'm very mindful of my wife. I'm very mindful of my kids. I'm mindful of my parents. I don't do things for me. I should probably be a little bit more selfish, right? I probably should, but I'm not. And it's all about giving back to people and giving back to the universe. But yeah, that encounter with the shaman was pretty interesting. And that's actually the first time that I met Troy was at that wellness expo.
Yeah.
We were talking. And we went to the expo,
Okay.
and that was an awesome. But I always gravitate. See, I'm into health and wellness, and I'm into the the body stuff and all that, and but I always just gravitate to spirituality.
Yeah.
I always gravitate to that stuff because there's so much more. There's so
Yeah.
much more learning. Peptides and all that stuff. It's all good. I'm well aware of all of that.
Yeah.
But it's the spirituality of the knowledge and the unconditional knowledge of keeping to evolve
Yeah.
that I always want to know about. So I always want to, and I always want to feel energy. So,
Yeah.
see energy,
Yeah. Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
because I can sense it.
Yeah.
I just don't receive it.
Yeah.
It's almost like it deflects off me.
You're not collecting it.
I don't collect at all. I'm not an empath.
Yeah.
And people think I am. I'm not. I'm just here teaching.
I love that.
I'm just here teaching. I'm teaching how to navigate life. I'm teaching how to look at things from a different perspective, how to understand other people.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of work to get to this point, and that's kind of like the calling. It's to heal and to teach.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm at in life. But when I went to that expo, just to go back really quick to that story,
Yeah.
where I was talking to, never done psychedelics, by the way, never
Okay.
done like microdosing or anything like that. But whenever I see mushroom, I've done lion's mane,
Okay.
right? I've done lion's mane and cordyceps and lion's tail and all that. And the one thing I'm always curious. I always want to know. I always want to know what the next,
Of
what's
course.
next, right? Like, why am I here? What's the
Mm,
purpose? Why am I communicating with this person? Like, well, what is it?
yeah.
So I was talking to this mushroom guy, and then all of a sudden we weren't talking about mushrooms anymore. We were talking about higher consciousness and higher self.
Wow.
So all of a sudden he goes, "You need to speak to Jared." And I said, "All right, who's Jared?" Oh, it was the guy that's been staring at me for like 10 minutes straight while he was doing energy work on somebody else.
Oh my God.
So so he goes off, he goes speaks to Jared. He's like, "Oh, but he's pretty booked. Let me go see." So he goes off and he whispers something in Jared's ear. Jared looks me right in the eye like this, right? And he finished his work, and then he comes over, and the first thing he says to me, he smiles and he says, "Do I have permission to read your energy?"
Mm,
And right away, I knew he had something for me that day.
powerful.
I knew that when I was going to the expo, I was like, "Oh man, that guy has something for me. He has
Wow.
something for me. He has something for me." So I said to Jared, "Jared, you have my permission." All of a sudden, he starts laughing, and he goes, "You must be so exhausted." So I took a step back and I said, "That's vague.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate?" He goes, "Your mind is not from Earth. Your mind is not from this world.
Mm,
Your mind, the way that you view things, the way that you see things, is not like anybody in this expo. I haven't met somebody like you in 5 years."
wow.
So he then comes to me and says, he continues telling me about my family. He told me things that I knew, but he shouldn't know, right?
Yeah.
Talking about my kids and stuff like that. My two kids, and he was very specific. My two kids, and this and that. So Spirit was talking to him, and he what was the thing that was most impactful though? It was oh yeah, the last life. He goes, "You're on your last life, and it's up to you if you want to continue doing or not. But you're pretty much on your last life. You even came back and you didn't have to be here." And that's when he was talking about my family. And he was like, "But you chose to because this is your lineage. And you said that you wanted to come back for this purpose."
Wow.
So I looked at him, and now not that I was questioning him, but I was almost validating the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And I said, "So what was the purpose?" And he said, "To heal and teach." And I said, "You're absolutely right."
Dude, that's phenomenal.
And that was validating for me.
Yeah.
That was super validating for me. So I said, "Okay, I've been in different industries,
Yeah.
all over. Like I've serial entrepreneur to the core.
Yeah.
I've had this moments where I said, I could be all entrepreneurial and do all these different things, but if I'm not aligned, I just don't want to do it anymore.
What's the point?
What's the point? I'm not. What am I doing? Just creating a job for myself? Am I going to continue chasing
For what?
for what?
Exactly.
There has to be a sense of fulfillment
Yeah.
for me, and everything that I'm doing now is tied back to that.
Dude, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Congratulations. It's very enlightening to have the opportunity to be in the presence of someone who is enlightened, and for viewers listening out there, I'm a little selfish, for the perspective of like having someone come to my personal resonance and be able to do this, and then I'm very serving where I want to share it with everybody because um I can relate to wanting to teach and serve and support, and I'm still learning and understanding and grasping like we all are, right? And I feel like I'm on a path that must be in my mind similar, and you seem more evolved, and so I feel like I'm feeling this connection to like, okay, now it's becoming more clear as far as how do I show up and what does it look like, and now I'm hearing your stories and I'm like, and the validation thing when I'm reading the books or whatever else, it's like, oh, I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path. You hear it in the book, you hear it on the podcast, you hear it from the event, and it's like, oh, okay.
So you brought up that book.
Mm,
That book changed my life.
wow.
That book changed my life. But the problem with me giving that book out,
Yeah.
I know you gave it out to your viewers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a nugget. But not a lot of people are ready for that book.
Oh no.
I don't share that book with anybody.
Wow.
I'll be honest with you. I don't. I probably gave it to like a handful of people.
Okay.
One of my business partners, Joshua, he was one of the first people that I said, "Hey, you got to read this book." Changed his life instantly. Changed his life instantly. He read it. I think he read it 3 times. He loved it. Loved it.
So far, so good, dude. I was like, and I was finishing the other one, and I was like wanting to dive into it, and I was infrared sauna this morning when I was starting to dive into it because I wanted to get some going because I know you're coming today, and I was like, let me see how much I can get through today. Just not that I like to rush it, but no.
You're not going to put it down, but I have a funny story for that one. So I go to John and I went to Naples to do a site visit for the next Tranquility.
Yeah.
And we're meeting our experts, our wellness experts, our
Okay.
vendors, and we're doing the whole shebang. So one of the ladies, John says to me, and John may not seem spiritual.
Yeah.
My man he's up there.
Really?
He understands. He gets it. He just doesn't want to admit it.
Okay.
I
Okay.
hope he's looking at this.
Okay.
I
Come on,
hope
John. Where you at? I love it. I love the honesty.
he's I'm telling you, he's a manifester.
Yeah.
He's up there.
Yeah.
And he says to me, "You're going to get along great with this particular expert."
Mm.
And I said, "Okay, what's her name?" Andrea.
Mm.
I said, "Okay." So I go. I have awesome stories, by the way.
Yeah.
So I go and speak to Andrea,
Okay.
and we're sitting there, and we're having just great dialogue. She's receiving messages, so she's a clairvoyant, and clairaudient, and clairsentient.
Okay.
I think those are the three.
Yeah.
If I'm missing another one, forgive me.
Yeah.
But she's all of it, and she's a medium.
Wow.
And we're talking, and she's like, she's like in her own days, just looking at me, and she's getting information. Obviously, I had to give her the background of what Tranquility was and this and that, and all of a sudden, she's like, she didn't know how spiritual I was until we got into the conversation.
Wow.
So then we started going into the conversation, and she was like, "Oh my God." She's pointing to her ear, like they keep talking to me. Right? So they keep wanting to get into this conversation. So there was she was receiving messages, I was receiving messages.
Okay.
There's a reason why I bring this up. So I shared the book with her. I said, "Hey, there's a book." I think she asked me like, "How did I get to this point?" And
Yeah.
I always reference that book. And I said to her, I was like, "Oh, well, when you have an opportunity, you should read this book. It's called Spirit Hacking. It's right up your alley." I think she did read it, and she told me that she was like, "Whoa, I was doing a lot of these things without even knowing."
Wow.
Yeah. So I tell her the book, and she's like, "Oh, who's the author?" And I said, "Oh, Shaman Dirk," right?
Mm.
And she's like, "Oh, okay, let me look him up." So she looks him up, and she goes, "Wait, this guy?" And I said, "Yeah, that's him." She goes, "I just had dinner with him 2 days ago."
What?
I go, "How do you?" I just gave you the whole story. How did we get to this point? She was like, I didn't know he was famous." And she goes, "Yeah, I had dinner with him in California 2 nights ago." And I go, "Huh." So then my brain starts going.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we're talking about Tranquility. We're talking about the shamans and all this stuff. And Andrea is actually going to be at Tranquility. She is at the nurse medium, by the way. She's top notch medium. Wow. She's phenomenal, by the way. Phenomenal. So she's going to be there. And just that synchronicity alone of the book back to them, because my goal is to have these people part of Tranquility.
Of course.
Right now it's very community based, but to bring in somebody like at that caliber, is huge.
Huge.
And I would love to get to that point. And that goes back to again your question about what is Tranquility going to become, and I want it to be that, but I still want to keep the essence of community.
Yeah.
Because again, that's the root of this.
Yeah.
The root is to give the platform for the community to share the energy of the area, and I'll never take that away from it.
Oh my God, 100%. And I have a background in events, and did a number and been at different ones, spoke at different ones. And the one thing that I see is, especially when you get to the level of like, we'll say Grant Cardone and 10X, I know they just had their last one. And when there's 2, 3, 4,000 people in the room, there is no community. It's just a bunch of people coming in, a lot of hoorah, a lot of big speakers, and it's a little fragmented because it's depending on the person who wants to see whatever speaker. I know Grant did a little bit different, didn't share who his speaker were until after the fact. But I love that you're making community first, so that way you can hold on to that tight niched higher vibe, because I feel like as soon as it gets too big and it's thousands of people and it's not community, it can get very like
Commercialized.
exactly
Mhm.
very just diluted, and I think that's very smart.
And if you think about it, what good does it do to? Because I think about all the pieces. What
Yeah.
good does it do for the vendors that are there, right? If they have a service that's only in Scottsdale, Arizona,
Yeah.
and you got people, coming in from all over, or vice versa, if I have a vendor that's from out of state but they can't give the service out to the people in Arizona, what does that do? No, you're here.
Yeah.
You're here. This is your home. This is your baby.
Yep.
You're
Yep.
here. So the service, it's all reciprocated, and I think that's what makes it so special.
I love
I think
that.
that's what makes it so special. So we're gonna continue that. That's the essence of Tranquility, and yeah, I don't. We may bring headliners here and there down in the future, but I'll never take the root of the people from the area away from them.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And it's funny you say that because um, now going back to early in the show, you talked about like how do you human design? How do you manifest? Is it the vision board? Is it touching and feeling and being in it? So day one Saturday, I went to an event and it was this concept. It's a dealership purchased by I guess 30 and 30 gentlemen, and he basically bought the building to basically do like entrepreneur hangout, barbershop, like multiple things. 117, 3 months out of a year here. It's almost here. You're just getting out before it gets hot. So, and that's the one thing that I was thinking about. They asked me the feedback yesterday, like, what was your feedback about the event? And I'm just like, it's cold and there's no plans. It was just black building, supercars, cool, 3 stories light, and then had these lights, the hexagon lights everywhere. But there's no community, and then you walk in and you're just there. It's like you're not walking through a corridor. You don't get there's not a receptionist. Here's your water. There's no experience. There's no community. There's no nothing, and that's one thing that I want to do. I want to do a community vibe car storage concept, but you could have a podcast room in it. You could have Michael's cold plunge and different therapies in it. You can have a place you could take headshots and pictures, and then have a opportunity for. I don't want to rent the cars, but I want the entrepreneurs that have achieved those cars, and I want it behind a glass wall. Because for me, it's like I want to talk to someone who's already walked it, did it, has it, and then I get closer to manifestation from seeing it and being it, and like actually being like, whoa, and like get a drive in the car. Talk to the entrepreneur. How did you make it happen? So this is something that I'm going to eventually cultivate, and Melissa wants her tea corner in there too, which would be really cool. So they wanted the feedback, so I gave it, but that's the thing, it's community first. It's
I
like,
I can't believe that you just said that. By the way,
mm,
my business partner and I had a vision for that as well.
how cool would that be?
Yeah,
You
like we
know?
we talked we talked about it. Um, After the podcast, we'll talk.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, Joshua and I actually we love all that stuff, right? I mean, we're in Miami, so we do like the supercars, the watches, all that stuff. They hold no, they don't hold any value to us.
No,
It's just nice. It's cool.
I got a couple in the garage. I'll show you.
We are, you're in real estate. I dabble in real estate as well,
Yeah,
and it was a concept that we were teetering with as well.
I
So
love that.
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it
So,
after.
so
But
I'm excited to talk about that and go deeper with like the watches, the cars, and what have you. What I look at from those is I look at those as tools. So, like if I say, for instance, take my GTR for example,
Mhm.
go to a car show, meet with whoever, like that
Networking.
that evening. It's networking,
Mhm.
and then I gave 3 people an opportunity to give them a ride. And gave them a ride, and then it has a flame map, so I could shoot out flames, whatever. And it's just it's the gateway. This is what I look at it as like the gateway. Like if someone is young and they want to raise their vibration, but they don't know it. They're not aware of it just yet. But if they see like a supercar, they see an entrepreneur, and they see the watch, and I've been stopped at the gas station multiple times. Who are you? What do you do? Blah blah blah. Then I get the opportunity to be able to speak some truth into them
100%.
because they're more open to receiving only because of the physical aspect of some materialistic thing.
Mhm.
So I use it for more of a tool, not to mention I have to give the engineers kudos for some of the cars they developed, and you could
100%.
feel the energy in the machine.
I'm more of a watch guy than I am a car guy.
Okay.
My
Okay.
business partner is more the car guy. He loves Porsche and
Yeah.
all that.
Okay.
Me, I'm like, you just give me a nice car and I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm all right. But I'm not a savant or anything like that. Like I'm not an enthusiast like that. I appreciate.
Yeah.
I just appreciate. I'm more of the watch guy. Like my wife and I have that's one of our businesses. The luxury timepiece and handbag store. It's called Luso y Rosas, and
Ooh,
we're out in Miami,
I
but
love the
we
name.
ship domestic. So
Okay.
yeah,
I love the name, and all the links will be down below so they can check you out and, be able
awesome.
to, follow the man, do more research, go to one of the events. And are you going to annually bring back Tranquility here?
Yes,
Yeah.
we are. Just from the little dialogue that I've had with the hotel.
I know it's premature. I mean, we just got done. You just got done yesterday, so
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah. I mean, that's the goal.
okay.
That's the goal. The goal is to be back here, and give a piece of us to the area. And well, it's not really a piece of us. It's really we're creating the platform for everybody to just come in and share their knowledge and their energy. So
Co-create and just enjoy. So when you think about for your family, I want to go deeper in the process with like serving, supporting, helping them. I mean, before we got on the show, you talked about your kids have like have a list of all the places they've gone to, and you know, it is what it is. They have to go to school. The letters come. We got received letters as well. It's just ridiculous. I'm almost thinking taking them out and just do a private thing with them or my own. Um, what does that look like for you as you nurture them and serve and support them? Like, is it something that you'll just see over time? You want to help them potentially become their own entrepreneurs? Like,
no,
any visions for
no, no,
them?
no, 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 no. They are on their own journey.
I love that.
It's so interesting. When I talk about my kids, it's so surreal because I see me.
Wow.
And I was an only child. I am an only child. I shouldn't say I was an only child.
Hold
I,
on. He's like, what life am I in right now?
yeah, which life?
Where am I at right now? What's going on?
No, I am an only child, and I have two personalities.
Okay.
I have my alter ego, and I have the corporate side of me. It's like two people.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of us do. We just don't say it. I'm just saying
Exactly.
it. I'm just saying the truth,
Yeah.
right? So I see my kids, and I have my oldest, who's Daniel, as well, and he's more of the corporate guy.
Really?
Oh yeah, yeah. He's ethically sound.
Wow.
He follows aligned, and he plays baseball.
Ugh. Could
Exactly.
be could be a pro.
He could be finishing my story. I don't know. Like
Whoa.
I don't want to put that pressure on him though.
Yes.
He's in his own journey.
You hear
Maybe,
that?
maybe, yeah.
Because I'm just really quick. There's a lot of individuals out there, the status quo, and a lot of our team PH, right? It's you're either nurse, you go to school, you get your degree, and a lot of times mothers, fathers, even if you're a mother and father right now, put pressure because they want to then either have the child live vicariously because they failed, like you could have been like for your son for baseball,
Hmm.
but that's not what you're doing.
Correct.
And I love that about this segment because that's enlightenment right there for anyone who's viewing and listening to say, hey, take a step back really quick. Allow. And I love that you're allowing. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to go in this segment. I love that you're allowing. Go ahead, continue. I just
So with him, I actually, I don't care what sport you play. Play anything. Play what you want. You don't want to play baseball next season? I tell him all the time. You don't? Do you want to play? He goes, yeah. All right. You're not. Don't feel that I'm forcing you.
yeah.
Play basketball, play soccer, play track, play whatever, play rugby, play lacrosse. I don't care.
Yeah.
What I do want from you is that you give it your all, you hustle, okay? You work hard, you practice your craft, and you become you just own accountability.
I love that.
Just own it. So for me it's not really the sport. It's the it's the intangibles that come with it. Leadership skills. Like
Yeah.
right now, he's 6 years old. He's pretty good. And obviously, he could be better. He's six, right?
Yeah. I
But
mean,
he's
we're talking
he
like
play
he's
yeah, yeah. But he
and
plays shortstop. You know, he's already a leader on the
yeah.
team, and now it's just really teaching him the leadership qualities. It's teaching him the leadership skills. Um, that's that's Daniel. Then I got Alexander, my little Tarzan. He is my free spirit.
Ah.
Long hair. He's a protector. He's a protector.
Mm.
He's a protector of women.
Ooh.
On top of that, he's a protector. He sees a bully. He's like, no, 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 not here. He's three.
Wow.
He's a protector. He's a strong soul. Strong. He's not corporate.
Okay.
He's more the entrepreneur. So I see these qualities and I say, okay, how can they thrive in this world?
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of parents make the mistake. Go to college. Go to college. Maybe
Mm.
college is not for them. Do they have the personality to go to college?
Great question.
Are they a person of service?
Yeah.
It's not what you want.
Yeah.
It's not what you want. As a parent, it's not what you want. It's what they want. We are here to parents. We are here to guide them. We are here to lead them
Amen.
into the future.
Yes.
It's their journey.
I love that.
It's their journey.
I love that. And I love as a father just giving the contrast because we introduced the tablet. And so mommy, daddy need some time. And also the tablet could be good for things like reading. And Jordan, it was September 16th, 15th. So it was a cutoff. She could go upgrade or we could keep her home for a year. Like, no, you're going to school early. Let's get you going here. And we already put her in private school when we first moved out here 5 years ago. So she would be ready. And she had the tablet and she was in the morning and whatever else. And she gets into this like, can you relate out there? Like almost like tablet zombie mode. And I'm like, no, put it down, be intentional. We're gonna be a family right now. We're gonna have our breakfast. You getting ready for school today. And then she snapped out of it. But I want to give her that contrast. And then when she comes home, like you got 30 minutes of just reading because she was going to Kumon. And we took her out of Kumon because now she's gonna go to swimming. And I'm like, no, no, you're just gonna focus on the one thing, which is your 30 minutes. It was like we have two cats. They're running around, Julius and Vincent, and so it's a little cat, reading whatever, and she loves it. And yesterday she came home from the whole weekend being with Papa Bear and Monica, and she surprised me. She's on the couch doing her thing. I'm like, are you learning reading right now? She's like, loves it. So I'm like, I love being able to just redirect from the perspective of just contrast and showing her like, hey, you got to get the basic fundamentals down. And sometimes it's hard when you're like, like the system is broken, but you got to communicate. You got to add. You got to subtract. There's certain things that you just can't get around.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny you said that because for me, I've always thought the education system was broken.
Yeah.
And if I ruffle feathers, so be it. It's pointless.
I see how you and John connect. Definitely on that level. He said the same thing in his show.
Really?
Same thing. He's like, hey, I'm running, just keeping it real.
Yeah, yeah, it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pointless. And honestly, I look at school as daycare. It's just
true.
a place for them to, socialize, keep their developmental skills sharp, and to problem solve, to think.
Yeah.
But the material itself is garbage.
Garbage.
Absolute garbage. So travel, right? Travel, the home, enforcing ethics, enforcing responsibility, enforcing all these things at home is truly what's important.
Yes.
Is math important? Yeah, math's important. You do need to multiply. You do need to add. You do need to subtract. Do you need algebra? I mean, are you going to be an engineer? It depends. It depends on what you're trying to do.
Yes.
But why enforce a cookie cutter blanket over for everybody? How about not? How about going into the Montessori model where it's like it's designed for you?
I love that. Love that. I'm 100%. Yeah.
Our public schools are completely broken. If I were able to change it, I would change it just all into Montessori model,
Yeah.
all the way from K to 8, and that would be our public school system, and our world would be better off.
I love that. And I can't even say that I can speak from understanding exactly what that means, but just I could imagine that it would mean that you specifically study, ask questions, a light test, whatever, to find out where this child excels in. Because my daughter is social, she's mechanical, she's not reading illiterate. I was diagnosed with a learning disability and had tubes in my ears and held back in third grade and made fun of, and that's a whole other story. And reading and writing is not my forte. And so, if I was to be nurtured into a way for me to be enlightened on the higher spectrum of the energetic chart, then guess what? You're gonna have more high vibe out there.
100%. 100%. But if I'm forcing you to do something that you're not keen to doing, what are we going to get out of it?
Yeah, and this is where it stems from. And I'm curious to go a little bit deeper in this segment here. Is where after 30, 60, 90 days, a behavior turns into a habit that turns into a norm. And if that's the case, then we're programmed within a matrix that we have to break out of because we're subject to what? Our parents, their parents, and the lineage, and then the school system. And so we don't know until we get to a certain point where we wake up and we're like, holy shit, what is going on? What's happening? And I feel like a lot more consciousness is this is we're consciously waking up now. And it's interesting, and I would love to go a little deeper on the segment because I think a lot of people out there are programmed.
So it's very simple. People want an instruction manual.
It's so true.
Yeah, people want an instruction manual.
Besides men, we have problems with it, man. I don't know about you. Build something, got the man. No,
No, look, listen. I'm going to tell you this, and I had this conversation actually yesterday with one of our with one of the experts, Brian Douglas.
okay, okay.
Solid dude, by the way.
I love it.
Solid. Um, you need to get him in here too.
Let's go.
Um,
I'll have to.
Masculine and feminine energy.
Mm.
Let's talk about it because it ties back to this.
Okay.
Masculine energy is all ego, stubborn. It's made for humans, right? The
Yes.
feminine energy is very intuitive and very emotional, right?
Yes.
That is not what we think is human. It's more on the spiritual realm. It's not human like, right? Our job as men, we're always going to be men and we're always going to carry masculine energy, but for us it's to balance out with feminine energy. So here's the thing. A lot of men today are just in their masculine energy, running into ego and stubborn. So then when
Yeah.
they're asking for help and they're asking for the instruction manual, they will just continue to ask, okay, what do I need to do to succeed?
Mm.
But they didn't ask themselves. They asked another person.
Mm.
So my instruction manual is completely different from your instruction manual. You have to create the instruction manual for yourself.
Yeah.
And it's just looking within. It's looking inward.
Mm.
And just asking yourself, what do I love to do? Let's start there. Then you could go and look at the mentors and the role models that are doing what you want to do. It's like, look, man, I don't want to ruffle feathers, but if I'm a person that's trying to lose weight
Yes.
or lose fat, am I going to get information from a bodybuilder? Or am I going to get an information from somebody that's just going to eat, garbage and they're at 30% body fat
Mm. Bodybuilder.
all day?
Mm.
All day.
Yes.
So where you're receiving this information is very important. So step 1, look within, find out what you want to do. Step 2, reach out to the people that are doing it. It's really that simple. We're getting instruction from people that do not matter.
Mm-mm.
Right? School, your teachers. You want a supercar, but you're taking advice from a person that's driving a Toyota.
It's so true.
What, like, that doesn't make sense. Not that there's nothing wrong with a Toyota.
Yeah.
It's about you. It's about what you want. Now, again, if you want, if you want the nice things, I don't care about this. I don't care about the car.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to you, like you said, it's a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tool. It's, like, it's a conversation piece. Like, I appreciate this.
Yeah.
I do not care for it. You know what I care about?
Mm.
What I did yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Just for the past 2 days, my family, my friends, the energy that I'm in. That's what I love. It's very hard for people to see that
Yep.
from their lens because they're trying to keep up with society and what they're going after. And the thing is too, like you gotta also understand, like if you talk to me about watches and cars, I'm making a business out of it. Why? Because I told you yesterday I don't collect. I collect inventory. Inventory so then I could share my energy with other people. Because as soon as this AP goes off into somebody else's collection, it's gonna be my energy shared with them.
Yes.
That's impactful. That's very impactful. I do things strategically to that matter.
Very intentional.
Very intentional.
Very
Very
intentional.
intentional. But so then going back, so we start talking about like we're parents, right? We have these conversations. Would you put your girl to go to college? What's the answer for that? Is it no, she's going? No, I'll let her do what she wants? Or three, it's up to her,
It's up to her.
right? So you didn't have to answer, but
Yeah.
most people don't have that realization. It's like, no, I'm saving up for their university. I'm saving up for their college. It's like, you made the decision already for them. You don't even know who they are.
Putting all that tension in behind it.
I do that with sports. We do that with school. We do that with work,
Yeah.
right? We just guide people in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
People just need to ask themselves what they want.
Easy as that. And I feel like that's a great segment for anyone who's viewing and listening to take that to heart and really ask themselves, what are you committed to? And yeah, we're saving for her, of course. But she can do whatever she wants. It's a life insurance policy. So it could be worth millions,
There you go.
or she could, pull out and start a company, go to college, whatever.
Exactly.
But is there.
Yeah.
And my only job from now until she can use the money is to make sure she's coming from a place of intentionality, love, purpose, not ego, not wanting to just blow it on whatever. I want to make sure she's set up for success. And that's one thing that I know for me personally. Like, I needed to get to where I'm at today to receive what I'm going to receive tomorrow. Because I know that if I receive things earlier in my 20s, and this could be you out there, someone who's watching this and you're younger and you want the nice whatever things, is it to serve? Is it a tool? Are you going to help? Or is it just because you want to stroke your own ego and go pick up a couple chicks and have fun at the club on a Friday night?
Or show off.
Or show off?
Who are you showing off to? Like what? I I can't fathom that.
Yeah.
I can't fathom that. Like, who are you showing off to? People that don't matter
And don't care.
and don't care. They look at you for 2 seconds and they're like, "Okay, I'm over it."
Yeah.
Like you live in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
I live in Miami. See supercars all the time.
Yeah.
I could care less. There's nothing that impresses me. A
Mm.
Bugatti could come through me. I don't care.
Yep.
It's just like it doesn't
Yep.
phase me at all. And I wish everybody was at that point. So I had an interesting opportunity I want to share with you because this is how wild life is. So my business partner Joshua, I've mentioned him a few times. He had the opportunity to bring the first Cybertruck into America.
Wow.
Right. So I got a perk. It was on Valentine's Day. He's like, "Let's go for a spin."
Okay.
We had people chasing us in the Cybertruck because it was the only one.
I can imagine that.
In America.
Yeah.
I felt like the dude. I felt like a superstar. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. Not because it was me. They were chasing an object.
Yes.
They were chasing an object. So then you start thinking to yourself, this is a car. Whether it's a Toyota, a Tesla, a McLaren, an Aston Martin, a Ferrari, it does not matter. Honda, it doesn't matter. This is a car. We had mobs.
Wow.
Like everyone thought that we were the president. It was wild. We took. I mean, I don't even know if I have the video. We took videos of like people just like banging on the door, like trying to get in, trying to see who it was, and chasing the car down Biscayne.
Oh my God.
I was like, these people are for real. Then you start thinking about the iPhone, right? You start thinking about certain things, and I'm like, I can't believe people are like this. Like, I'm about to throw my iPhone away and just go BlackBerry, just to show how disconnected I am to all these material things, man.
Yeah.
Now I won't because the iPhone does make life a little easier.
It does.
But I may keep a BlackBerry just in case because I love the keyboard.
Well, I'm an Android guy. And
Android?
the wife's like, you got to get iPhone, like fine, FaceTime, whatever. I get it.
It's like, no, my messages stay green, man.
100%. But that is even crazy to think to like what type of process does an entrepreneur need to go through, like Elon Musk, to even cultivate that type of culture around an object? It's just mind-boggling. It's like, what? Because I remember the story of Tony Robbins talking about how when he finally, you could say, made it. I remember he was talking in one of his books, and he was in this helicopter. He was flying over to one of his events, and then he looked down. And he seen just the thousands of people that was at his event, and it wasn't because of an object; it was him, because he was transforming people's lives, and how powerful that was for him. And that's admirable. I mean, not to say that what Elon Musk isn't. It's like, man, because of an object. It,
Look, he understands. Elon is very interesting.
he's very interesting.
He understands what people want.
Well, hold on for a second. Do you think his origins is human? Do you think he's from here, or do you think he's from? Because hearsay, and this is hearsay segment. I mean, they say there's multiple versions of him. They say that he's not right. Like from what I,
Yeah, there's different things out there of people
theories
like
and shit. But
reptilians and they're
yeah.
from another planet and stuff. Like I'm not there. I don't do any of that stuff.
Okay. Okay.
I see everyone is like light. Everyone is God. Everyone has an opportunity.
Amen.
Everyone is human. Everyone's human, right? We just have either good souls, bad souls, high energy, low energy, and I
Yeah.
keep it very basic, very simple. It's very simple for me,
I like that.
and I think though he understands pulse. He understands what
Mm,
people want, not what they
yeah.
need. They may think they need, but what they want, and they want to be ahead. They want to be the first. They want to, people want to show off, and he's feeding into that.
He is.
And my man, the guy is brilliant, and he just, he's doing amazing things. He's just, he's doing the whole sustainability initiative. He's transforming how we look at everything,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, he just understands the pulse. I don't think he's doing intentional, to be honest.
Mm,
I don't even think he cares
yeah.
about what people think about him.
I see
About
that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But he does understand. He's a businessman. He does understand consumer demand, and he understands what people want, and it's working for him.
Big time. What's next? And you're all gonna have one? The robot.
Oh yeah, for sure,
They're
for sure.
coming.
Hey, listen, AI has changed already in the past. What is it? 5 years.
Yeah.
AI has been introduced into our world, and it's wild.
It is wild.
It's wild. It's wild, and it's transformative, and it's efficient. It's efficient. I'm a big proponent of AI. Why?
Mm,
It allows me to have multiple businesses.
yeah.
The automation. I'm a big automation guy. One of my jobs when I was working at Wyndham was reporting. So my biggest thing was, how do I automate everything? So that already got me into the mindset when I got into business, into
Mm,
entrepreneurship, of how do I automate everything.
yeah.
There was a reason why you saw me at the front desk yesterday. It wasn't because I was put there. It was because I needed to see the logistics of how to automate everything. I needed to see the ins and outs. Should I? I don't think I'm higher or lower than anybody, but I need to show as a leader on my team that the top guy is willing to do even that stuff, because that stuff is super important.
Oh, 100%. And that speaks a lot to your character because you were upfront and you're talking to everyone just like everyone.
Yeah,
And I love that about you.
connecting,
Yeah.
connecting. I also wanted to see the energy that was coming in.
Yeah, for sure. For
You know,
sure. I'm right there with you. I would do the same. You know what I'm saying? I just, no. And I would just got done reading that 10x is better than 2x. And it talked about that. Just focus on the top 20%, not 80%.
I believe Laura read that book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe my
Okay.
wife read that book.
Yeah, it's a really good book. And I was talking to my wife about it as well. I said, okay, let's grab a piece of paper. Did last week. I said, put a line down the middle. What lights you up? What just makes you feel like, ugh, the low vibe shit, And for her, she needs help with SOPs and KPIs and all that stuff. I'm like, honey, I can only help you so much. I said, so we met. There's two gals. I think you might have met them as well. They're in the front yesterday when they commented on my outfit yesterday, and they're partnering. They help entrepreneurs, CEOs find a match or matchmakers.
Tatiana.
Yes, and the one sold her company for like I don't know 100 million or something like that, and then I started to talk to her, and then she's going to be on this podcast too. Both of them are going to come in, and they might want Melissa and I because we met on Instagram and they heard our story. They're like, "Oh, you guys would be great," and you could put a spin off. Can Instagram find your life partner? You know, whatever.
Oh, my wife and I met on MySpace.
Yeah.
MySpace. Yeah, my wife and I have been together for 18 years. We're
That's
high
amazing.
school sweethearts.
You guys remember MySpace?
MySpace.
That's fucking crazy, dude. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's amazing what you can do with technology.
I think I told Ziana that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she met my wife when she came in yesterday, and she was like, "Oh, how'd you guys meet?"
Yeah. I think we were together. Yeah.
Yeah, MySpace.
Dude, that is crazy.
MySpace.
That's
and,
awesome.
and it's interesting because she was in my neighboring town, and I manifested her.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you specifically put down what you were looking for?
I didn't put down. I visualized.
You just visualized
and
it?
I always said, because when I manifest, I have to speak it out into the universe. I have to say it, and I always said, I want this, 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 and there she was.
That's exactly what we did. I wrote mine down, and this is a hot take, y'all out there, because we were talking to some family members. I'm gonna drop any names, gonna rustle any feathers here, but it's like, how do you go and date when you don't know what you want?
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
It's like, I'm going to go on a trip. Okay, cool. You're going to go, I don't know, I'm going to car start driving. Okay, well, best of luck to you on that one. You know, oh, I ran out of money. I'm halfway through the country. Can I get some money? Oh, well, you didn't plan, huh?
Mm-hmm.
You know, or I'm with someone who's now a drug addict.
That's how I look at all the topics that we've talked about today. School, work. Why are you doing things if you don't know what you want? It goes back to picking a partner in life, your life partner. If you don't know what you want, how are you going to go into that? That's why divorce rates are so high.
Huge.
Right? It's because of that.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And that's, so I tell people all the time, you got to know what you want. That way I feel like the Lord gives you additional energy when you know what you want, when you're in your divine purpose.
Your guides, your team, God, everybody will help you if you know what you want.
Tremendously.
And you're intentional, because now they see that you're so certain. They're like, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help my person. One thing people gotta understand too is, one thing I'm trying to uncover with this veil is the spirit team. This team that everyone has around them. The connection that they have with their team. Everyone has a team. Everyone has people that are connecting, but if you're neglecting them, they're not around. Why? Because they're discouraged. They're upset. They're just leaving you alone. If you're scared about them, they're just leaving you alone. They don't want to bother you. They want to please you. They want you to be happy. And if you're scared of them, they'll leave you alone. And if you're not asking for help, they won't give you help. They just want to help.
Yes.
Just ask.
Yes.
That's why prayer is strong. That's why meditation is strong. Why? Because you ask. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, I meditated and I prayed and I got this. Why? Because you asked your team. And it's so, I know it's weird for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I know this is weird for a lot of people.
Oh my God.
I can't believe that this is real. Do the research. Go on your own journey. That's what this is about.
Yes.
It's about going on your own journey.
Yes.
How is it that, all right, let me break this down. How is it that psychics could speak to the other side? We're all psychic.
Asked? Maybe they ask?
No, we're all psychic. Right?
Yeah.
We're all psychic.
Okay.
But if you are neglecting your gifts, well, then you may think that you're not psychic. But if you're psychic, are we really psychic, or do we just have a team that we're not talking to?
That's good.
Think about it.
Yeah.
We say, oh, we're psychic. Well, then, but how are you communicating with your team? That's a fact. We all have psychic ability. We do. We just don't know how to harness it. So once you learn how to harness it, now you can communicate with your team.
Powerful. That's in the book. He's briefly just summing over it just a little bit, but it's so true. It is absolutely so true. And that's what I'm focused on, is to be more tapped in, because I want to play. I want to be in the physical and then like play with the spiritual side and just like go back and forth. And it was interesting because, quick side note, my business partner of now almost 11 years, who's the co-founder of Liftoff Agents up in Oregon. And on Friday, we had a meeting, and he said, and he's very religious in the church. He was at Google, so his degree is in UI UX, and he would go to the church and he would do like all the elaborate like stage and lighting and infrastructure. That's his thing. And so when COVID happened, I said, I'm going to Arizona. He said he's going up to Oregon. So we swapped out. And on Friday, he said, I don't know what it is, but Norman's very intuitive. And normally when he says is this is what's coming up and he feels in his gut, he's always right. I couldn't believe he said that. I'm like, whoa, like, did you just give me kudos like that? Like, it felt so good. And then of course he said, Norman can't be everywhere. We're scaling this company, and we're not developing a $300 million company with 100 Filipino staff members and 15,000 agents, and all across the country, maybe the world, on Norm's intuition. So I meet everyone personally 101. I'm working on their intuition too. Shout out Team PH. But it's so true. Just gotta ask.
That's it.
I love that.
It's so simple. It's so simple, and people just don't do it because they think that they're weird. They think it's woo woo. They think it's they feel uncomfortable. They're like, I don't want to be talking to myself. I'll just hide yourself in the bedroom and just talk to yourself for a little bit.
But why? But why? Why do you feel that way? If any of that resonates with what Daniel just said, why? Because at the end of the day, who's judging you? They say that
It's insecurity, man.
Yeah.
This is what drives me. This is what drives me right here. This conversation, like getting people out of their shell.
Yeah.
It's like, you have so many insecurities, whether it's self-love, self-worth, trauma,
Yep.
generational trauma,
Yep.
breaking chains, breaking barriers,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be, right? Like this is what it's all about. But so many people have so many insecurities that it's holding them back. It's truly holding them back. And every time I think about it, there's just so many there's so many individuals, and we have a lot of work to do.
Amen.
We have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because this is what it's about. It's about waking people up. It's about giving them the mindset. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I'm only just giving mindset and perspective.
That's it.
That's it. And I'll just give them a different look.
Yeah.
And I've been able to do that with a lot of people already. So that's amazing to me.
Dude,
And
congratulations.
and as we scale this business, it'll get better.
Dude,
It'll get better.
I'm really excited for you. I'm excited to be a part of this process. And the worst thing can happen to anyone out there is what? You die. You're gonna die from talking to yourself. And they say that you're the worst person that could judge you is yourself. So it's just like,
If I told you that we don't die, it's another conversation,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I mean, that's just too much for people. But we don't. We have souls. This is just a vessel.
amen,
It's just a vessel.
100%.
We never die.
Yeah,
So-
we got our little meat suits here. For the time being. You just enjoy them
And take care of it.
Oh my God, I love that.
And take care of it, because that's the vessel.
Yes, I had to. I was like, okay, this is gonna be 2 weeks straight this week. So I was like, massage. I just got done with my massage before you got here. I was like, I got to go take care of myself, dude. It's like I had to. And
Nutrition,
yes,
diet, all of it. Like
And that-
I count calories.
me too.
Yeah, I count. So
2,100.
dude,
I probably need to go down to 22. Or no, 22,000.
that's exactly where I'm at. 2,100.
20, I'm 20. Yeah. I problem with me is cardio. I gotta get higher on the cardio.
14,725 steps today.
Whoop, or which one's that?
Fitbit.
Fitbit. I gotta get one, dude. I was gonna get the ring, but I was like,
Dude, as long as you and now we're getting into fitness, right? This is an everything show. You just maintain 10,000 steps a day. You're living a healthy life.
Yeah.
You're going to live a healthy life. Understand what your metabolic rate is, and you just count calories. And it's that easy.
It's that easy.
And here's the thing, right? Because I'm a man of balance.
Me too.
I'm like, if you like, so in Miami we don't have White Castle.
Oh, really?
No, we don't have White Castle in Miami. And I just saw one, and I said, "Oh my God, babe, White Castle!" And I don't eat fast food, but there's inner child, man, inner child, right? Sometimes you got to feed it. So
Yes.
I haven't gotten it yet, so I haven't made the decision. Because
On the way back.
I really own into my craft, and I love eating solid foods, like whole foods,
Me
right?
too.
And making sure that I'm at least 30 to 40 grams of protein in my meals all the time,
I
right?
love that.
I absolutely love it. But life is about balance, and if you want something, go eat it.
Yes, you do.
Go eat it.
Yeah, that was yesterday. A little just loose. Sometimes it's fine. You got to get loose. It is what it is. But I just had a lot of juice. We had a juice guy who was there, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
The only thing I will tell you,
Yeah.
because I don't want to leave that there just to be like, go do it,
Uh
right?
huh.
So because we're talking about spirituality, I feel like I should start saying this. Alcohol,
Mm.
alcohol. So I'm not gonna drop names or anything like that, but I had somebody that um, drinks, and I was able to tap into that. I was able to ask the person, well, what do what do you why do you drink? And obviously, common human answer is, to cut the stress and this and that. I said to them, do you realize that the word spirits is alcohol?
Mm.
Spirits it ain't good spirits.
Mm.
It's bad spirits. And I haven't met anyone that drinks alcohol. Like, and look,
Mm.
listen, guys, like, have some on the weekend, right? But just don't abuse it,
Yep.
right? Don't abuse it.
Agreed.
I do understand that there's a human element to this, and if you need to cut the edge, of course. But if you could go cold turkey and not do it, don't do it. Don't do it. There's no need
Yep.
for it. So going back into the story, they were able to tell me about how everybody in their family were raging alcoholics.
Mm.
So I got a download
Mm.
and I got a message for this person, and I said to them, in order you to get head and shoulders above your lineage, you need to cut the alcohol. And it's not the alcohol. It's the generational trauma that's tied back to the alcohol.
Mm.
So if you want to get rid of and break those chains of your generational
Mm-hmm.
trauma, you got to do it.
Wow.
You got to do it. So also, like, you got to understand yourself.
Yeah.
You have to understand yourself. You have to understand your process. You have to be open to identify your traumas.
Yep.
Have to.
Have to. Yeah. I mean, 100%. I grew up with a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, a lot of abuse. Definitely a cycle breaker in my family. First entrepreneur person like myself in the entire family. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Congratulations for that.
Appreciate you. I'll just put that out there too. And and the one thing I would say is like, yeah, I don't really drink. We don't really care. The wife doesn't drink. She doesn't really care. Every so often, one thing's coming up for me, and I'm just gonna be totally just transparent with everyone, is weed.
Hmm.
Now I'm not like I used to be a pothead in my 20s.
Hmm.
Nowadays it's like smoke a little bit here, smoke a little bit there. I'm a person that believes that like it's good to be like a treat. Okay, I crushed it. I did this. I did that. Here's a treat, right? That's how I like to look at it. But now I'm almost getting like this calling to just kind of like I don't even need it. I don't need anything
You don't.
at all.
You don't. It was so interesting. I was brought up in an environment. My parents are amazing. They brought me up in an environment where they did shelter me a little bit, but they gave me a perspective of everything, like of alcohol, of drugs. Like, my parents don't really drink.
Mm,
I used to drink,
yeah.
and I just stopped.
Wow.
And it's been 2 years since I've had alcohol.
Dude,
My
congratulations,
my
man. Let's
yeah.
go.
And I'll tell you, it wasn't that I had a problem.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was that I wanted my energy back. I wanted my energy. I wanted to be present for my kids. I wanted to be there if they woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning. I wanted to be there for them, and that was the only thing I needed to be like. That's it.
Mm,
I'm good. I'm good. Um, but we really do need to ask ourselves that question. We need to ask ourselves, what's wrong here? Like,
yeah.
am I truly happy, or am
Mm.
I why am I doing these things?
Yeah.
Why am I drinking? Why am I doing any drugs for that matter?
Yep.
Why am I doing mushrooms? Why am I doing psychedelics? Why am I thinking about going to Peru to do what is it?
Ayahuasca.
Oh yeah, ayahuasca. Why? Why? Why?
Ask yourself that.
Why? Is it okay for drinking? Is to cut the edge.
Mm.
Okay, that turns into addiction. Cool, fine. Drugs, same thing, right? Cut the edge, turns into addiction. Fine. Now, from the spiritual side, I want to go and do ayahuasca. I want to go do mushrooms. I want to go do anything, microdosing or whatever. Why? Cut edge, but now it divides into a fork. There's like a little
Mm.
fork in the road. People want to tap into spirituality, or people are just like, I just like the feeling. If you like the feeling, addict. If you're tapping into spirituality, I'm here to tell you that's not the route. You don't need to do that at all. If it's spirituality, you do not need to do that.
Mm.
Now, if you do it, okay, cool, awesome. Use it as a way to enlighten yourself. Use it as a way to awaken yourself to that there's more in this world.
Mm.
But don't be what's the word? Dependent on it. Because you do need to realize that all these gifts you could do naturally. You just may have to work a little bit harder for it.
Dude, powerful. Absolutely powerful. And I'm right there with you. Never, for me personally, never needed anything. It was cool, enjoyed it from time to time, whatever.
It's also the circle that you're in.
Yeah.
It's also the
Yeah.
social circle that you're in now. Um, for me, from time to time, I love hookah.
Mm. Okay.
I love hookah, and it gives me creativity. Now, if people are using weed for creativity, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Um, but I love hookah. And do
Mm.
I do it all the time? No, I don't. But if I want creativity, I'll do it. Again,
Mm.
it's about balance.
Yeah.
It's about balance.
Yeah.
Like just have balance in your life, and you'll live happily.
Yeah.
You know,
Amen to that, dude. 100% amen to that. I love that. I love that. Now, we've traveled all over today,
we have.
all over. And the question is for you out there viewing and listening, what's one takeaway? I love to make the show interactive, and now someone's been with us for an hour and 41 minutes. Can you believe it?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah. So what is the takeaway for you guys? I would love to make this interactive. I want to say also thank you to the team at Liftoff Agent for editing the show and putting this all together for us, and they're going to be doing all the short clips and everything else. And I appreciate our space of co-creation right now because that's what we're doing. And I just looked down because we got lost in this co-creation slash. I don't even know. I mean,
We may have another hour after the show.
yeah, we may. So that's why I wanted to, wind down a little bit for our viewers and listeners and give opportunity. And if you do comment back down below or you reach out to me personally, I know I'm available and I would love to help anyone I possibly can with anything. Same I can imagine for Daniel if they want to reach out and you on Instagram,
Um,
kind of sort of not really.
it's interesting. Social media for me is not personal; it's more business.
Yeah, makes sense.
I have all business on social media, and my personal account is at Luso Wolf,
Okay,
and I don't post nothing.
got it.
I don't post nothing. It's blank right now.
I love
Like,
that.
because at the end of the day, I'm not interested in what other people I'm doing. I'm really focused in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I also don't want to share what I'm doing personally. I'm a very private person, by the way. I'm
Mm.
very private.
Dude, we're
But,
yin and yang then.
huh?
We're yin and yang.
You're not?
All my shit's out there.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Everything.
I'm
You
very
go to my
honest.
stories, bro, you see everything.
Yeah. I don't do that, and I think it has to do a lot with the role models that I picked growing up.
Oh,
And they were cream of the crop.
I love that.
I could share with you who they were.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter,
Okay.
you know how he was, New York
Mm-hmm.
Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Yep.
And I mean, he's a little bit more public now, but he's public promoting. He's not.
Yeah.
He's never really about family unless they're making fun of him or he's getting lipstick drawn on him or whatever.
Yep.
And then the third one was Romeo Santos from Aventura Bachata. It's a bachata
Mm.
group. And now, mind you, when I looked at these guys as role models, they were nobodies.
Wow.
So for me, how awesome is that to
That's
see
amazing.
these three individuals
Yeah.
be at the top of their game in their respective industries, like
Mm,
stars. And I saw them as role models from nothing.
that's amazing, man.
So that to me means a lot because it means that I have an eye for co-creating and vision and
Yeah.
all that because I saw something in them,
Wow.
you know.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. 100%. Yeah, I'm playing with it. I'm playing with it because for me, I look at this like met my wife because Instagram, because of stories, because I'm so public. And there is boundaries, of course. I'm not like every single segment every single day. And then like, there might be a little bit of hiatus for the next 24 to 48 hours because I do hit that kind of threshold where I'm like, okay, I need a little fucking break here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just like to share experiences and because I have so much going on, it's nice to be able to kind of give people like Jonathan. He was one of the keynotes and he was on the podcast as well. And he watches all the stories and he's like, man, your Instagram fucking fires me up, dude. He's like, it's like people ask me how. I'm like, I don't know. I just do. I just am. I just is. I actually filmed 3 years of my life put on YouTube. The whole beginning of our life is on YouTube.
That's awesome.
The birth, the proposal, the all the things, just because I'm playing with the concept of like,
Sharing.
and there's nothing is personal. Like nothing is like once you and all of us evolve, there is nothing personal because then if you can tap in, you could ask, and then you could be able to like clairvoyance, what have you. You could like the guy he knew all the things about you, and you have nothing posted.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Well, I'm playing with it to see how maybe that can help co-create for other people's to be more enlightened and inspired, but then also maybe I don't know.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. That's you. That's
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
I'm private because I'm very intentional with my privacy.
I love that.
It's to keep, for myself, sanity. I'm
Mm.
an introvert, believe it or not.
Wow.
I'm an introvert. I love my space. I love it. I adore it.
I
I
know. That's how you
remember,
found your wife.
yeah, yeah,
Because you're
yeah. My
MySpace.
MySpace. I see what you said. Um, but I'm an introvert, and I had to learn how to be an extrovert once I became
Okay.
an entrepreneur, obviously.
Yeah.
But one thing I always said, it was like, I understand that we all understand that we have to be a brand,
Oh yeah.
like us, the individual. But I
Yeah.
never made it about me. I always made it about the company. And
Mm.
until I get to that point where I'm the brand,
Yeah.
I don't see a reason
Yeah.
to do it. I'll just keep continuing building out businesses, and I'll share that through Instagram and Facebook and what we're doing, and people are going to know me organically
Of
anyway and tie it
course.
back to the business.
Yeah.
But
Deeper that way.
yeah, and it's not just about a person. They'll get to know the person down the road.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that for you. And as you can see, when you co-create with individuals that are in their knowing and going for whatever their dreams and aspirations are, like we have and we are, it's like you respect each other and you respect what is. And it's just like, oh, okay, a little bit of contrast. Okay, I see what you're doing. Oh, I see what you're doing, and then you can kind of co-create together. And who knows, maybe there'll be things to come, things to come. But like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I would say follow the man. You follow the companies. We'll put the companies down below.
Yeah,
Check
yeah.
out what you're up to, what you're doing. You want a nice watch. You want to go to an amazing event. You want to level up. Tranquility, I feel like could be amazing for people to check out.
Yeah, yeah. We're doing. I'm actually working on a couple projects right now. I don't know if we talked about it.
Hmm.
Did we? I don't know if we talked about it, but I'm actually launching a erectile dysfunction pill.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I can't talk too much about it because it's launching in the next couple of weeks. I'm kind of making it a big
Yeah,
a
yeah.
big thing, but it's targeted to females.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Men can take it.
Okay.
Men can take it. It will work extremely well for men, but my target demographic is actually females because
Wow.
one thing that we do not realize is that who would have thought that we were ending the show with sex? I'm telling you, we traveled all over the place, right?
All over the place.
Um, one thing that we don't realize is females go through it too,
Mm.
hormonal, mentally, emotionally, and they're the opposites of guys. Like when we're stressed, we
Mm.
want it. We want to be shown love, and
Yeah.
we want to engage with our partners and things like
Yes.
that. But when women are stressed, they're the complete opposite. So we've crafted ingredients into these compounds that just elevate desire and elevate, eliminate stress levels and things like that. So I'm super excited about that.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to hold ourselves back here because no, it's so true. It is so true because last past, I'm not getting too details here. The last couple of days been stressful for the wife, and I'm like, okay. And then last night, we see our daughter, and she's like, oh, because we missed our daughter, we're gonna have sleepover. I'm like, thanks, honey. Yeah, sleepover. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So we had sleepover, and didn't have a sleepover. So, but I love it, man. This has been amazing. I appreciate you all staying for the full 2 hours, and it's great too because there's a lot of people out there that aren't public on social media that people don't know about that are serial entrepreneurs that are high vibe that are making an impact in the world that don't need to be on this stage with 100 million people. And the stage of this is it's growing. It's an infant since November, and we're going to cultivate to something huge, but in due time. But I know that you who are watching was supposed to watch this for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations for staying until the end. And thanks so much for taking your time, man, and being a part of this.
No, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for having me. It's been amazing, and like I said, Scottsdale has really shown me a lot of love and a lot of energy, and I can't wait to come back.
It's beautiful out here, man. Every single time I came, I wanted to move. Then I moved, and then I left, and I wanted to come back. I don't know why, but I was like, God damn it, here we are.
I had this conversation with my wife this morning. I was like, don't tell me we're moving to Scottsdale now because I'm a Miami boy. Like, I love my ocean. I don't see water here. She goes, I don't know, this energy's different. I was like,
There's some lakes. There's some lakes. San Diego's in 5 hours, 5.5 hours. Vegas is in 5 hours.
Scottsdale, I've been to South Africa, and Scottsdale gives me that vibe.
Really?
Oh, yeah. And I love South Africa. Love it.
Maybe somewhere I need to go.
Yeah, let's do it.